Hello and welcome to Housing Development, your one-stop platform for everything housing, real estate and infrastructure development. As always, I am your housing diva, Fleur Ani, and it's a pleasure to have you join me. Today we have an insightful lineup of stories and discussions shaping the housing sector in Nigeria. We'll be looking at the latest trending news in the housing sector, the living conditions of Karamajiji community in Abuja, a special edition of Real Conversation with Ambassador Elijah Onyagba, where we discuss the deportation of Nigerians and its economic impact on the housing sector. And finally, Property Hunters, where we bring you the best property deals and tips for home buyers. Let's begin with the top trending stories in the housing sector this week.
Experts in the housing sector have called on the federal government to tighten all loose ends to ensure that Nigeria does not lose out on the potential of the real estate sector in 2025. Nigeria's real estate sector is one of the critical sectors of the economy, which contributes a reasonable quota of the country's gross domestic product. However, major issues bedeviling the sector include high exchange rates, housing affordability challenges, as well as inflation, which is gradually eating up the gains in the sector. The National Bureau of Statistics recently reported that Nigeria's inflation rate had reached over 34%. The current rate has put developers on the edge, making affordability a major challenge. Aside from inflationary figures, the high cost of building materials has also become a major challenge. This is occasioned by the volatility of the exchange rates market, as well as the fact that over 90% of building materials in the country are imported. The federal government has announced a 1 trillion naira real estate fund aimed at facilitating home ownership through the provision of low-interest loans at a 12% interest rate. This initiative is designed to make housing more affordable by offering financing options below the prevailing market rates. The fund is expected to stimulate the housing market by enabling more individuals to purchase homes, thereby increasing demand in the real estate sector. The head of investment, ARM, an asset management firm, B. Adekunbi, said though the program had been registered, however, the fund would be launched in series. According to him, 150 billion naira has been registered and fully subscribed to by the Ministry of Finance and the coordinating minister, adding that the subscription is a concessionary tranche which is aimed at bringing down the interest rates that would be the mortgages. Adekunbi said the second level of the financing, which is Series 2, was mainly for commercial investors, and the intention is to raise up to 100 billion naira from commercial investors, specifically pension fund administrators. According to him, currently the pension fund industry sits on over 20 trillion naira. The head of investment said this fund was one of the structures that had been created to mobilize funding from the sector to address infrastructure challenges, in this instance, specifically home ownership.
For more housing, finance, and construction news, do well to visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Next, let's turn our focus to Karamajiji community in Abuja. This is a settlement that has been largely overlooked, with residents facing serious housing and living condition challenges. Our team visited the community to get first-hand insight into their struggles and hopes for better housing infrastructure.
A substantial number of people reside in various slum areas across the Federal Capital Territory. Most of these communities have no access to basic amenities, creating serious agony for the residents. Many Nigerians prefer these settlements to the modern structures with high rate of rent. In Karamajiji, people who live in these communities have no decent houses or social amenities that make life meaningful. The settlements also do not have proper drainages to control the movement of water, especially in the rainy season. Most of the dilapidated streets are faced with a serious threat of erosion. Housing TV Africa paid a visit to the Karamajiji area of the Federal Capital Territory in a bid to have an assessment of the living conditions of the residents in the area. Many residents decried the worsening living conditions under the current economic downturn.
Hasn't been easy. Like, we have so many challenges. Just even the place we live is not nice, and not that we are even happy. Clothes we are putting on, we are not happy with it, and likewise food and water. So we have different challenges we are facing towards this lifestyle.
Victoria Nadi, a mother of 4, living in the area for over 3 years, spoke on the challenges of day-to-day living in the area. She stated that without basic amenities, life had become difficult for her family and residents in the community.
The living condition is not all that suitable for people living here, but we're managing because we can't afford anything. But we'll be happy if government will come and help us. Like the living condition, water, sometimes we find it difficult. We don't have neat water. Like water board, we take borehole. Water board, there is a woman that put it, and she didn't allow every other person to circulate it to their own reach. She only take it as her own business. They call her Abuja. And sometimes the water will not rush. Once in 2 weeks, drinking water will be buying such a bag of pure water, 500 naira. Sometimes within some week, you find everybody developing malaria because we don't have neat water. So we need water. And the houses here, though, is affordable. But this is the only place in this village you can find cheaper land and house. It's more affordable than other places inside Karamajiji. So, but in terms of light is not other step. We are sharing light once in 2 days. And sometimes they will be interrupting it. It won't serve us for the whole day. There is light now. Before 1 hour time, they will take it, leaving. So all those things are the amenities we need. If government can really come in and assist us, we will be very grateful.
Further explaining the difficulties being experienced in the area, Ismaila Ganduka, a graduate working as a bricklayer, stated that the living conditions in the Karamajiji area was becoming unbearable by the day.
Generally, everyone knows what is going on the world, most especially in Nigeria. Hardship we are facing, it affected everybody. You didn't have money, the food issue is also a problem. You understand? Just person like me, because Nigeria has changed into another section. I finished school almost 2017. Up to date is 2024. Then tell me how many, and I have the certificate at hand. That is why some people feel discouraged to go to school. But that one cannot deceive us. We'll still endure and go to the school. But I attach myself to various different type of work. I follow people that are doing talent work, I get the skills. I also enter computer training 2013 to 2014. I have the certificate. But we're still managing to see what will happen.
It takes by the grace of God for us to survive it, because during rain season, sometimes the rain will not even allow you to sleep because of the sound on when the rain is dropping on the zinc on the roof, like because there is no ceiling, so it doesn't allow you to sleep well. And sometimes water pass through down to your bedroom. Sometimes your bed will get wet. And during this dry season, there is no way. Like my dad is an aged man, so he doesn't allow us to connect electricity in the house. So because he's afraid of maybe fire outbreak will take place, so he's afraid of us not to connect lights. Then there is no way we can get fan or anything that will make us sleep easy. So most of the times we stay out till 12, then before we go in and have a sleep. And you can't sleep out well because of mosquitoes.
A first-hand glimpse shows that residents in this area face immense difficulties to cope daily. Lack of basic amenities, government neglect further compound the woes of the residents in the area. Urgent government intervention is needed to alleviate the hardships in Karamajiji and also bridge the housing deficit on a large scale in various areas across the country.
From our findings, residents struggle with poor housing structures. Many homes are built with weak materials, making them vulnerable to harsh weather conditions. Lack of basic infrastructure, no proper road network leading to poor accessibility. Sanitation and health risks, inadequate toilet and poor waste management leading to health hazards. The big question is, what is the way forward? How can the government and private sector intervene to ensure better living conditions for communities like Karamajiji? This is an issue that requires urgent attention, and will continue to highlight the plight of such communities until real solutions emerge. Housing affordability remains a major concern for millions of Nigerians. While the government has introduced various policies, many believe more needs to be done. We hit the street to ask everyday Nigerians, what should the government do to make housing more affordable? Take a listen.
We're in Abuja. Naturally, houses in Abuja are high. So I think that maybe because of the infrastructures they're putting in place, and because it's a new city still, we're still developing it and we want to put it at world standard. I think that's part of why everything is high. However, I think there's a way that the government can help to cushion the effect on the citizens. There should be housing policies that are put into place where funds are made available for people to access these funds, especially for developers as well. So there should be grants, there should be funds, so that they've developed properties which are affordable to people.
The houses are not worth the amount that they charge for them, in my opinion anyway. The rooms are small, the spaces are small, they are compact, but the prices keep getting higher. It's not as if the facilities are being improved upon.
When it comes to issue of house rent, honestly, the house rent in Abuja is something else now. One bedroom flat will be hearing 4 million, 3 million, depending on the area though. But I think the government should do something. At least there should be regulation for house rent. It's very important because people are going through a lot. People are suffering. Some people cannot even feed. You know, imagine a man that has 4 children. It's not easy.
House rent. As far as I'm concerned, is another big deal. Most especially here in FCT. You find out that I don't know if it is the landlords or the agents that are behind the increase in house rent. But if you check very well, you find out that the house rent is exorbitant. Now, if the government was coming, I think the government have to come in on the aspect of what we call extended housing unit. Are you getting me? They can come in to build all these housing units that even the lesser citizen can afford. Are you getting me? Give them a space of time, like let's say 10-15 years. No matter what you're doing, instead of paying this house rent, let me say 1 bedroom flat or self-contained 1 room apartment, everybody or whatever, lay your hand on the one you can easily afford. Why the government gives you time to pay up? I think that is very, very necessary.
Clearly, there is a strong demand for policies that directly impart affordability. The government and stakeholders must listen to these voices and take action. Now let's move our focus to our special edition of Real Conversation. We are joined by Ambassador Elijah Onyagba to discuss a critical topic, the deportation of Nigerians and its impact on the housing sector. So, Ambassador, it's an honor to have you today on the Real Conversation. Welcome to the program. Let's look at the reality of housing challenges for deportees. When Nigerians are deported, many return with little or no resources. What are the immediate housing challenges they face upon arrival?
Thank you so very much. This is not very surprising to have this kind of conversation now, especially this time that particularly the US government and the Trump administration has been hammering on immigration challenges and the need to deport people that are illegally or that have illegally migrated to the United States of America. Deportation has been an issue that Nigerians face, in fact, most developing countries all over the world, because people are always trying to find a way to get greener pasture. So they find very illegitimate way and illegal means of migrating to quote and unquote developed countries. And sometimes you give them visa for visits, they go visiting and then they end up not coming back. Sometimes they go as students and then they finish education, they don't come back. So this is an issue that Nigerian government, Nigerian people actually, and quite a lot of countries have been facing. But the issue is, what are the challenges that deportation brings to Nigeria? There are quite a couple of them. You can look at it from the point of view of economic implications. You can look at it from how does housing play a role. The first is that usually, even before people are deported, people go out of the country, and one of the first things they do and how they contribute to economic development is sending monies back home, or what in economic terms we refer to as remittances. If you look at the numbers, the remittances that come into Nigeria far outweighs the volume of funding that come into Nigeria by way of foreign direct investments, because families try as much as possible to send in funding home. Some $100, some $200, some $1,000. All of this happen on a daily basis. That when you aggregate them, for example, if I take the U.S. economy, for example, billions of dollars come into Nigeria from the U.S. economy on an annual basis, just through remittances, because people are working. Sometimes they want to build houses, sometimes they want to invest in real estate in Nigeria, sometimes they're looking for investment opportunities because this economy provide a high rate of returns on investments. Say, for example, even in the real estate market, because the land that you buy in Abuja today, so long as you have proper title documents, be assured that between now and December, the appreciation will be at least 25%.
Sure. And
you don't find that kind of returns in properties that you invest in the US or any other developed market. Sometimes the rate of returns is about 4, 5, 6%. But in the developing economy like we have in Nigeria, people that stay in diaspora sending a lot of money to Nigeria because of those that come in for investment purposes will always yield higher returns.
All right, Ambassador, let's talk about government responsibility. Does Nigeria currently have any structured policy for housing deportees upon their return to the country?
Well, at the moment, there isn't none that I know of. But because we are an economy that is developing, I think that time has come for us to also begin to look at what are the policies that government can put in place to be able to help, deportees that are coming into the country. We need to find a way to encourage government to have some kind of reintegration programs. We are a nation that over 70% are under the age of 30. And therefore, there is pressure on the younger people to go and find something to do outside the country. Some call it Japa, and in the process of the Japa, majority of them, a very significant percentage, are done illegally, So there will always be pressure for them coming back into the country one way or the other. Some get involved in war-torn areas, some get involved in rather illegitimate deals that eventually they get arrested and then they are sent back to where they are coming from. So government policy recommendation number one has to find a way to look at what can be done to reintegrate people that are coming back into the country, not just the girls. For the men, for the young people, even for those that are married, how do you deal with that? Second, again, is that our affordable housing policy must also begin to look at this, because when you have people coming into the country as a result of deportation, what that means is that there's going to be increased demand in the local housing. The question is, do you have enough supply to be able to match that local demand that is likely to come as a result of that? So government policies should also be anticipating, government affordable housing policies should be anticipating that these issues will always be there. And therefore, what do we do to be able to accommodate, Thirdly is that we will keep asking our diaspora to continue to invest, because part of the reasons why you have investments is to be able to draw on them when you have challenges of this nature. Because if you do not have anything in Nigeria, some people get out of the country, they don't invest home, and all of a sudden they are back home. I know the challenges we are facing as a people in places like Dubai, for example, where Nigerians have put in a lot of money in real estate there today. Even the visa to go to the United Arab Emirates is a problem, So that's why thinking home is always better, because anything you have in your home is secured. No matter wherever you like, go, but you must always fall back on whatever you have home.
To watch the full interview with Ambassador Elijah Onagba, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube. Now let's talk about one of the biggest housing and real estate events on the continent, the Africa International Housing Show 2025. The AIHS has become the premier gathering for housing stakeholders, attracting developers, investors, policymakers, and industry experts from across Africa and beyond. What can we expect this year? This year's highlights include innovative housing solutions for affordable and luxury real estate, keynote speeches from top industry leaders on the future of housing in Africa, exhibitions showcasing the latest building technology and materials, opportunities for networking and business expansion in the real estate sector. If you're a stakeholder in the housing sector, this is an event you don't want to miss. Date is 26 to 31st July 2025 and venue is Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. And now to wrap up today's show, we'll bring you Property Hunters, our segment dedicated to helping you find the best property deals and real estate opportunities.
We are the developer of the Clinton Castle, located here inside the Navy town, Asokoro. Yeah. Of course, you could see what we are doing here. We are building 5 and 4 bedroom luxury detached duplexes here inside the Navy town. You can come with me up there so that I can show you exactly what is going on in the environment.
Let's take a tour.
Yeah, you can see this one. This one is at the plastered stage now. It's roofed. Everything is going to come up well, like the 3D I sent to you.
All right.
Yes. So this is one of the major roads that leads to various houses here in the state. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, we are still cutting some levels in order to build. Building is going to come up here too, and also there. See. So we'll go up. You can see the serenity of the environment. So superb, very clean and neat.
Tell us, where is this location?
Asokoro.
And I understand it's just a few minutes drive to the presidential Aso Villa.
That's correct. That's very correct.
Construction is ongoing.
Yes, construction is ongoing. Of course, from here now you can feel the texture of the quality of materials we are using. We are not compromising. Everything is of good quality. Look at the blocks. Yeah, we've done with the concrete cement mixture. Everything here is of good, great quality. Of course, the Navy have their own, technical team that do come and inspect what we are doing, because I told you from the beginning it's in conjunction with the Navy holdings, So they have their own team that normally come to visit, inspect what we are doing.
So what facilities will subscribers enjoy here when it came to your project?
Good. A good asphalted road, security, CCTV. Of course, we are looking at putting solar lights on each of the building. It's going to come up with solar lights, at least 3.5, 2.5 kVA in each of the building. Security here is top-notch. Security is part of it. We are going to have a gym center where people here will come every morning and register to be, gymming and stuff like that in order to be very, very fit. Yes.
All right.
Good.
So how soon are we going to see this completed?
Before this time next year.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, before this time next year.
So we're looking at a 5-bedroom duplex?
5-bedroom duplex.
Are there different house types here?
No, 5-bedroom duplexes.
And what does it come with? All in suites?
All in suites. All the whole rooms are in suites and with walk-in closets. Of course, a very good POP designs, lightnings, good furniture you can talk about in the world. It's going to come out superb. We are not compromising quality here. Everything is going to be of high standard.
If you're looking to invest in real estate or find the perfect home, now is the time. That's all we have for you on today's edition of Housing Development Program. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms for more housing updates and discussions. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep building for the future. I remain Housing Diva, Fleur Ani. Bye for now.